Hi everyone, welcome to this video. My name is T. If you're new here, I really do hope everyone's day is going well. So, what's up? Talk to me, please. What's up? Does anybody care to tell me what the hell is going on? I turn my back for 1 week and I come back. No, I do not want to talk about current events right now. Instead, I'd rather take a trip down memory lane. So today, we're gonna talk about the movie White Chicks. Everybody knows the movie White Chicks, right? It's a classic. It was quite literally a cultural phenomenon. There are so many lines from that movie that we still reference to this day, and that movie came out in 2004. A couple days ago, I came across an amazing TikTok by this creator named @SwampAmish, and here's what she said.
Okay, I've seen people on here trying to come for the movie White Chicks, and I'm about to shut that the down right now. First of all, you guys clearly don't know anything about the movie, so I'm gonna educate you. It is written by the Wayans brothers, who are the 2 black lead characters. They also have other brothers who helped in writing. That movie was very ahead of its time. The whole thing is supposed to be a social commentary on white privilege, which was not as hot of a topic back then as it is now. Not only does the film flip blackface back onto white people by taking 2 black men, dress them up like 2 privileged white women, which were modeled after Paris and Nikki, and mock everything about their lifestyle and their privilege. The point of the movie is to contrast the experience of black and white Americans. The movie mocks how white people are okay with black features on white people but not black people. It mocks fetishization of black people by having a black character that fetishizes the white women. That movie is literally genius. We should be applauding its writers.
After watching her video, I was just sitting there how did my over-analytical ass not catch that when I was first watching the movie? And then I remembered I was 6. So thanks to SwampAmish, I rewatched the movie and I realized she's right. You know, this movie isn't just about black people making fun of privileged white people. Why on earth would we do that? There are actually so many racial parallels that were carefully and meticulously encrypted in that movie. So let's take a trip down memory lane and visit the ones that I was able to find, shall we? Okay, so the movie begins with Marcus and Kevin, played by Marlon and Shawn Wayans, the iconic, the legendary Marlon and Shawn Wayans. We gonna give them they flowers on this here channel, okay? Marcus and Kevin are FBI agents undercover at a bodega. They're trying to bust a drug cartel. Now that mission fails miserably. And as punishment, they are ordered to escort Tiffany and Brittany Wilson, who are 2 rich, white, privileged sisters, to the Hamptons for the weekend. Now, just like Swamp said, these 2 women, Tiffany and Brittany Wilson, they were obviously modeled after Paris Hilton and Nicole Richie, which, oh my gosh, who remembers how big of a deal they were in that time? What was their show called? I think it was called The Simple Life. Wow. Those 2 bitches, Paris and Nicole, they strutted that runway so that every Kardashian, every Jenner, every housewife could run. Bow to your leaders. And the Wayans brothers, they did so well with this invitation. Everything was spot on, from the blonde hair to the French tips to the mid-rise mini skirts to the chihuahua. Oh my gosh, brilliant. After Kevin and Marcus pick up the girls, they end up swerving off the road because the damn dog crawled out of the seat onto the front of the car. I don't even know how his little ass got there. But anyway, they ended up swerving off the road, and then the 2 sisters collide faces, and they end up with 2 minor scratches. In that moment, they throw a legendary BF, which by now we all know stands for
she's gonna have a bitch fit. You better get out of here.
You would have thought these bitches had facial disfiguration. Sis, if you don't slap some Neosporin on that hoe and take a nap, damn. This scene exemplified how some white women very often become hysterical, no exaggeration there, hysterical at very minor inconveniences that are of no real detriment to their livelihood, right? And because they are so offended that another human being had the nerve to inconvenience them, they weaponize their white privilege and try to get people arrested, fired, or worse. This scene was so ironic to me because now that the term Karen is popularized, there are people who think it's like a new thing, but no. This bitch has been calling a manager forever. So now that the sisters have decided that they won't be making it to the Hamptons because of their injury, Kevin and Marcus decide that the only way to keep the situation under control is to impersonate these women and go to the Hamptons as them. So they bring in some of the best special effects makeup artists on the team and they transform them from this to this. Now, the biggest complaint of critics, white critics, was that these men were doing whiteface, you know, and if the roles were reversed, I start to twitch every time I hear the phrase, if the roles were reversed, because they already are. What the Wayans brothers were doing here is called irony. Blackface is a thing, still. And just because people aren't taking literal black paint and red lipstick to their face doesn't mean blackface isn't still happening. It's still happening. It is still happening. Anyway, Kevin and Marcus begin to adjust to life very quickly as Brittany and Tiffany Wilson. They very quickly realize that they can get just about anything they want by way of complaints or compliments. Either one works just as good. What a beautiful chocolate man, you know? Then they meet up with their friends Karen, Lisa, and Tori, and before they head off to the Hamptons reception party, one of them compliments their lips, which they believe are collagen enhanced, right? So they compliment them by saying,
Your lips went from Cameron Diaz to Jay-Z.
This is especially interesting to me because had this movie come out today, they would have complimented their lips by referring to them as Kylie Jenner lips because people are clowns. So for these women to compliment their lips by saying Jay-Z, that brings truth to the common intentions of cosmetic procedures such as lip enhancements. You didn't do it to look like her. You did it to look like us. Then they hit the Hamptons reception party and they bump into their arch rivals Heather and Megan Vandergeld, and all hell breaks loose. In that confrontation, we get to see the contrast between the white and black community's perception of banter. So while the Vandergelds are throwing shade by saying stuff like, your mom shops at Saks, the Wilson sisters are making yo mama jokes. They being extra loud and rude and obnoxious, you know, just acting the same way we would in black spaces where we are comfortable, except they're bringing that energy to this uppity, rich ass, white ass space, and people were shook, rightfully so. I mean, who could forget the breast powder joke? Throughout the movie, we also get to see these two men experience the unpleasant side of womanhood, such as getting catcalled, body dysmorphia, uncomfortable clothes. I like that they threw that in there. That was a nice touch. And then we meet Latrell Spencer. Baby, if you were looking for Dr. Umar's worst nightmare, there you go. There it is. Latrell's character was very obviously meant to be your stereotypical beefhead, ball is life. I'm not racist because I only like white and light skin. It's just my preference. Ass athlete. Latrell immediately takes a liking to Tiffany. He actually compliments her by saying she is a white girl with a black girl's ass. Throughout the movie, Latrell also makes it a point to be super hyper masculine and express his immense respect for white women specifically. His incessant desire to have a white woman on his arm is symbolic of many successful black men who often fetishize white women and use their companionship as a way to assert their power, the same way rich white men would. Yes. I'm gonna shut up. I was about to say something so disrespectful. We're gonna keep going though. The girls then hop in the car to go shopping, and yet another iconic scene is born as they sing along to Making My Way Downtown. Easy, I would bust out the whole song for y'all, but I heard you could get a copyright strike for that these days. Ugh, YouTube is the feds, but yeah. Anyway, so they change it to a hip-hop station, and what is conveniently playing on the radio? Realist by 50 Cent. So the sisters instinctively start rapping along because they're black men, and the whole car is like, you guys, you can't say that. Well, nobody's watching, so. And before you know it, you said BRG, but I'm gonna act like you don't feel like I am so thankful for for that scene. I know some of y'all probably would have thought that like I would hate a scene like that, but honestly, that is one of my favorite scenes of all time. It is so funny. I know y'all be saying it. I'm not stupid. I know y'all be saying it when ain't nobody around, or at least when nobody like this is around. So the transparency of that scene was so hilarious. But I'm gonna go ahead and reach for a second and say that I think that scene was meant to symbolize how many white people, especially of the 2000s, they most definitely listened to hip hop and rap, but they would only sing along when they felt safe, like when they were in spaces that they felt were safe and secluded, likely due to the stigma that surrounded anything associated with black culture. Now that's very different now, right? It's like black culture has been absorbed. It hasn't been absorbed. We've talked about this before, right? But I feel like back then there was still more of a stigma surrounding it. It wasn't necessarily the coolest thing to do. We skip forward a few scenes to the fashion show, or should I say the shit show. Oh my gosh, as you probably remember, there was tripping, there was falling, there was a shootout. There was a shootout, and Latrell jumped in front of a bullet to save Tiffany. Tiffany then reveals that she's actually Marcus, and Latrell's response was,
"But you are not white?"
I guess in a way, this was kind of a plot twist, right? Because I'm kind of happy about it. I'm kind of happy that this plot twist happened because, you know, around this time, jokes about gender identity were so common, like so common. It's like every movie in that time, like, was about pulling off the wig or revealing that there weren't really boobs there. You know, like something like way problematic, way, and that scene, it just reminded me of a quote I came across the other day. And it says, "Sexual relationships between black men and white women have rhetorically been shaped not by their relation to each other, but rather by their relation against the other." Not saying that that's how it is with all interracial couples. I'm just saying it was very interesting to see that trope of, you know, the self-hating black man woven so deeply into a character. Like, they really went hard with that one. And then they bust the bad guys. Marcus and his wife get back together. Kevin asks the reporter girl on a date, and then they all come together and promise to go shopping, and that's pretty much where the movie ends. So this movie wasn't super metaphorically charged, you know what I'm saying? It wasn't super symbolic or anything like that. But I wanted to come on here and share my findings just in case there was anybody else who missed all of these hidden messages the same way I did. I want to go ahead and give another shout out and thanks to @SwampAmish. Thank you so much for being so kind with allowing me to use your video in my video. That was really cool of you. Like always, leave your thoughts down below. Give me a thumbs up or down, however you're feeling today. And don't forget to subscribe for more content. I'll catch y'all in the next video.